Hey everyone. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've been following Marburg for quite some time, and I think some of you know how I feel about this. That's the only way I can describe it. It quite literally turns you into a zombie. Pretty much. They have a propensity to bite, as well as they bleed out of every crevice. Their lifespan is roughly 9 days upon getting Marburg.
About 150 contacts have been identified and are being followed up, including 3 family members and a health worker who have been identified as high-risk close contacts. Marburg is a very different virus to the one that caused COVID-19, but many of the elements of the response are the same: isolating and caring for those infected, tracing and quarantining their contacts, and engaging local communities in the response. There is no licensed vaccine for Marburg, although there are vaccines under development. And WHO is working with our partners to seek opportunities to assist them during this outbreak through the R&D blueprint for epidemics.
Symptoms of Marburg are as follows. Illness caused by Marburg begins abruptly with high fever, severe headache, and severe malaise. Muscle aches and pains are a common feature. Severe watery diarrhea, abdominal pain and cramping, nausea and vomiting can begin on the third day. Diarrhea can persist for a week. The appearance of patients at this phase has been described as showing ghost-like drawn features, deep-set eyes, expressionless faces, and extreme lethargy. In 1967 European outbreak, non-itchy rash was the feature noted in most patients between 2 to 7 days after onset of symptoms. Many patients develop severe hemorrhagic manifestations between 5 and 7 days. In fatal cases, usually some form of bleeding, often from multiple areas. Fresh blood and vomit and feces is often accompanied by bleeding from the nose, gums, and vagina. During the severe illness, patients have sustained high fevers. Involvement of the central nervous system can result in confusion, irritability, and aggression. In fatal cases, death occurs most often between 8 to 9 days after symptom onset, usually preceded by severe blood loss and shock. And now the Canadian government is pretty much warning Canadians about this because it's in Equinox, New Guinea. Have a look, everyone. I think if you've been following me, you know what I'm saying here. Do you guys see the ongoing trend that's going on? Let me know what you guys think. May the good Lord Jesus Christ bless each and every one of you.
Equatorial Guinea is the latest country in Africa dealing with an outbreak of the deadly Marburg virus. At least 9 people have died in this outbreak, 16 other suspected cases under surveillance. Officials in that country are now working to make sure the virus doesn't spread beyond its borders. Joining us this morning is infectious disease specialist Dr. Isaac Bogosh. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Emery.
So what do we know so far about the virus and how it's spreading?
Well, this is a virus that's very similar to Ebola virus. They're part of the same family of viruses, and it can cause a very similar syndrome of fever, shock, propensity for easy bleeding with this, and it carries a high mortality rate, so it's treated with extreme care and caution. We don't know a lot about what's happening on the ground. There's been remarkably few updates from the country. We do know that the World Health Organization is involved in providing support, and we know that the country, of course, has jumped in with 2 feet to ensure that this doesn't spread further. I think one of the concerns here is that it's close with a couple of international borders, like Cameroon and Gabon, and we've seen from other outbreaks of this nature that when it does cross international borders, it turns into a more, obviously it's a more regional issue and it's a little harder to control. So I think it's extremely important, like anything else, that they jump in quickly, which they've done. They take it seriously. They try to quell this as quickly as possible so it doesn't continue to grow and spread.
We know there's no vaccine for the Marburg virus, and without treatment, it can be fatal 88% of cases.
FEMA have already put out zombie commercials and Conops on that, correct?
That's correct.
Y mortal.
It's a deadly illness health officials in Equatorial Guinea have never seen before, but others have, and they're worried.
Marburg belongs to the same family of viruses as Ebola, and like Ebola, has a very high fatality ratio.
King Jesus bless you all.